Next concept is about function prototyping. Okay, what is prototyping? See, it is necessary in C++. Why? Because a prototype describes the function's interface to the compiler. It tells what the functions to perform, what is the use of the function, how the computation to be performed. Briefly, it tells the compiler. So it tells the compiler the return type of the function as well as the number, type and sequence of the formal argument. So function prototyping in the sense declaration of the function name, okay, by mentioning its return type, then name of the function of course, followed by number and type of the argument. This tells the compiler that what compiler should going to calculate and what type of the values it should be calculated, and what are the number of arguments and type of the arguments that function expects, right? Formally they will be mentioned along with the prototype. So general syntax of function prototype, as I told you just now, first thing is return type, function name, followed by argument list. Just now we have considered one example, pass by reference. Okay, increment was the name of the function, void increment, void was the return type, increment was the name of the function. Then in a bracket we have mentioned int ampersand r, right, where int is the type of the parameter, ampersand r is the formal argument, right? That was the example we have considered in the previous session. So here you can see int is the return type. So return type is a data type. It can be void, int, double, float or char, right? Whatever the existed data type it can be, that is the return type, followed by function name. Function name can be anything. You are going to define them. Okay, you are going to define the function as per your requirement. Earlier we have performed the increment operation, so considered we had just considered increment itself as the name of the function. Name of the function you can change as per your requirement. So here add we have considered. Then argument list, it can contain any number of argument as per the requirement. So here two arguments formally mentioned. So int a, int b you can consider, or just consider int and sorry, you can consider int and int. Okay, you can just consider int a and b, or just mark it as int and int. Return types are sufficient to be marked. This is called as function prototype. So this prototype indicates that add is the function, returns the value of type integer because int is the return type. And so here is the example program for function prototyping. You can give the previous example as well. It is not compulsory you have to learn new programs and all every time. If you learn that the previous one, you can it was the example for pass by reference, right? There also we have used the function, user defined function, and its prototyping you can explain. Okay, here is the addition of two number. So function declaration or function prototype at the beginning, int add of int comma int a comma int b you can mention formally, or int comma int sufficient. In the main function you are asked to enter the number, first number x, read it as x, enter the second number, read it as y. Then result must be stored in another variable, because your function is going to return a value of type integer. So use a variable to store the value. Let z be the variable to store the value returned from add function, add of x comma y, add of x comma y. So in place of x let it be 5 and 6 are the values you have entered. So what it does, it will call the function. See here, int, it is calling the function int add of int a comma b. In place of a formally we have 5, then we have 6. So what is done, 5 plus 6 will be computed, it will be returned. So 5 plus 6 is equal to how much, 11 will be computed, and it will be returned to whom, return to calling function, return to this location. So that return value 11, that will be stored where, it will be stored in z. So z is the part of the main function, variable in the main function that holds the value of the return value of the add function. Okay, return value of the add function, right? So 10 and 20, so return value will be 30. Okay, the explanation is given here as you can go through. Fine, one examples are sufficient. Very simple thing. Okay, function prototyping is very simple concept. Please try to understand the things you have already studied. Okay, uh, just study them, go with respect to C++. It is easy to score. Next is about the overloading of function. So overloading in the sense same function name with different signature. It is called as function overloading. Recall the function overloading concept with respect to the C programming you have studied. So function overloading is the ability of the function to have multiple interfaces in the sense name say with same name but different return types or different signature you say. What is the meaning of signature? Is signature in the sense return value as well as parameter list. Altogether it is called as signature. Return value and parameter list altogether called as signature. So C++ allows two or more functions to have the same name. For this, however, they must have different signatures. Signature of a function means number, type, and sequence of the formal argument of the function. Signature in the sense, say, return type matters, then argument list that matters. Name should be same. Here is the best example. There are two prototypes of same name, function name. See, return type may vary, but here same return type. It is not compulsory that you have to take two functions with same return type, not like that. Signature involves both, say return type as well as the argument list. So only argument list is altered, anyhow it is considered as different signature only. So multiple declarations of the add functions, which stands for overloading a function. That's it. Same function will be declared for multiple number of times and it will be called for multiple number of times, but each time while calling you should be careful that signature should be vary. Okay, function signature should be different, like either function return type or function uh, parameter list or both. That should be different. So in the main function, as I told you, it will be called multiple number of times. It is called multiple number of times. See, it is called for twice, and different locations are, I mean, variables are used to hold the return value. X and Y are the different variables. So add 10 comma 20, then add of 30 comma 40 comma 50. Okay, then multiple number of X and Y will be printing. So value of X and Y will be printing. So computation should be done. So computations are done with the help of the user defined function. So here is the definition of the first function, int add, int a comma b. What is to be returned? A plus b to be returned, right? Simple thing. Here a plus b plus c to be returned. That's it. So the values you have passed are 10, 20 for the first time. So 10 plus 20, 30 is returned here. And in the next step, with respect to y, this is with respect to x, with respect to y, 30, 40 and 50 are the values you have passed. So 30 plus 40 plus 50, computed 120 will be returned and stored in y. Okay, that is what function overloading is. So in the next session, let us discuss about the default value for the formal argument of the function.